So we've basically got the system positioned correctly now, and I like the way the overall balance of the system is actually sounding. So what I'm going to do now, because we're using a name system, I'm actually going to attach the macro twin kit to the negative terminal of the loudspeaker rather than the negative terminal of the amplifier, just because name don't give us a three-way binding post to give us access to that, and it makes it a bit messy otherwise. So for safety's sake, so we don't want to short anything out, we're going to actually connect to the loudspeakers. It's very simple. Spade terminal goes on the Entreq ground box. So you do one for the left, one for the right. Okay, just finger tight. Drop box down next to the system. Negative terminal and plug in. Okay, and do the same on the other speaker so we're completely balanced. Okay, and find the negative terminal and connect in. It's as simple as that. Okay, so the next upgrade we're going to do is a Silver Minimus Infinity to a Sudoku RCA hardwired to hook on the back of the ground box, and this simply attaches to a spare RCA socket on the back of the name system. So I'm going to choose one of the analog connections, push on, job done. That is connected, and that will ground the audio circuit of the name, and in doing that we're hoping to just move a little bit of the unwanted high frequency energy away from the name and drop the noise floor and make the system sound just a little bit better yet again. So the Protectus shelf in this particular instance, what I'm going to do, because I've got a ground box connecting to the audio ground on here, I'm actually going to connect this box to the audio ground as well, so that they both will now be connected to the ground box. So cable goes in there, and quite simply hook connects to the shelf in there like that. So we're now grounded to the shelf, and the shelf is grounded to the audio circuit, and the audio circuit is grounded to the Silver Minimus Infinity. When I play the first track, it's a Prince track, and you get footsteps going through the middle of the soundstage, and what you get in the background is, I'm going to say it's a New York street in the background, then the guitar comes over the top, then the vocals come over the top. So it's the layering of the mix that's of interest here. And as I add the grounding, what the effect we've been getting is that everything moves into the room, and the road noise and rumble that you hear to start with becomes distinct vehicles moving through the soundstage, rather than just something happening in the background. So this is a good name system set up with decent power cable, decent speaker cable, decent network cable. Okay, so that's with no grounding, and this is how quick it is to actually demonstrate. So just connect into the negative spare terminal. Okay, same track, same volume. Okay, can you hear the difference, Chris?
I can, yeah.
It's bonkers.
I'm not sure I like the difference though.
Okay.
How does it sound to you?
I can hear more layers of sound, and that to me, I'm hearing more. So what you might find, did it sound louder?
A little bit.
Okay, you can turn the volume down then.
Yeah.
And that means you can play the system quieter, but still hear more. So where some systems, and I used to have it at home, where you used to have to play the system and I'd be turning it up and up and up to try and hear, actually it's because there was mush there that I couldn't hear it. So what I'm going to do now is just ground the using a Silver Minimus Infinity. So what I've done, just connected the hook to that box, and
What we just grounded?
the audio ground on here. So not the chassis ground, the audio ground. If I was doing the chassis ground, I could do that to the Protectus shelf, but I'm going to show you another little trick with that one that we've been working on.
Is there a benefit of the chassis versus the audio input for grounding point?
This is actually using a specific box to ground high frequency energy into the Silver Minimus.
Yeah.
So that's one upgrade. When we use the shelf, we can actually use the chassis ground.
Yeah.
And that actually does a different part. But actually, if you don't have an easy access chassis ground, one of the upgrades we're working on is to actually use a second ground from the audio into the Protectus so that they all ground back to the box. So perhaps a slightly larger box would have more effect because you're doing a shelf and the chassis ground simultaneously. But it seems to work really, really well. So just play Shy once more, and this is with the audio ground in. Okay, so again, the guitar seems to soar into the room a little bit more, so it's now becoming a more layered sound that we're getting, a more textured sound that we're getting. The next upgrade, a little bit fiddly, this one. So this is the ground going to the box.
Yep.
So all we do is plug that in next door and just hook it on there.
What are you plugging it into?
The a spare audio socket next to the one we're already using.
So it's RCA.
RCAs, yeah. Okay, so as you're going along, each of the changes is little, but they're cumulative. So now you've got Prince's voice really strong. The cars and the sirens going across in the background are really moving across that soundstage with clarity. The guitar seems to have more rip to it, and
this is the biggest upgrade out of all of them.
Yeah, but it's like the cherry on the cake. So what's happened? The other upgrades have opened the window, and that's just gone. There you go. If you do everything, that's what you can get. When the ground boxes are in, it's like the guitar strings are more distinct.
Yeah.
There's more than one string playing.
Yeah.
And the string has more body to it. So what I'm going to do, these are the new Sudoku cables.
Cool.
And I'm going to put bigger ground boxes on the negative terminals. We're going to ground them to, you have got an Olympus 10T here. And negative terminal. They just hook on, simple as that. Just gentle finger tight. And that's that. Okay, that's us done. What the box is actually looking for, it's a high frequency filter. So when we say it's grounding, it's actually looking at specific frequencies. It's not looking to do the whole frequency range. And that's the key. Because if you did, you'd be taking away stuff you want.
Yeah.
Whereas what they're specifically looking for is noise that we don't want.
Yeah.
And in doing that, we're dropping the noise floor of unwanted noise, not the frequencies that actually make the music that we can hear.
More like removing interference.
Correct. High frequency energy. Yeah. Now how many strings on that guitar now? Okay. And before, how many were there? Less.
It sounds like one or two.
That's massive. Okay, should we drop the grounding off?
Yeah, that sounds very impressive.
Okay. I'm going to make it sound slightly less impressive. So we're just removing the grounds. Just make sure that if you ever do this, make sure they don't touch anything metal. Okay. Okay, so we've just removed the grounding. Same volume. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
oh God.
It's instant, isn't it? It's like in the background.
Now, I'm sorry, but
Things have been going wrong long enough to know.
Yeah, fair enough.
wooden guitar now. The strings have lost that snap.
Things have been going wrong.
I'm acutely aware that the sound is coming from speakers rather than just having sound.
Yeah.
When I was young, I was off
Instant. It's from the first guitar note.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's how quick and easy the demonstrations are. How well set up the systems will depend on how much you hear. But as you can see here, I've gone name Nova into a pair of O-Fi speakers. It's a good system, but it's not exotic. But it's just shown how much performance extra we can gain for not a huge amount of investment. I think it's worth the difference that I'm hearing.